Letter to a Child. My dear child, I am writing this letter to share with you something that is happening to me, in which, most certainly, you are part. After this, a lot of things will change in our relationship. But no matter what, I will always call you my child. You see, I will still be the older one. Let's start from scratch. Strange things happen to me lately, the most important of which is that a big circle in my life has ended. I don't recall precisely when it began. I think it was when I was 20 years old. Work, studies, family, children, dreams of an entire life. For me, all these are in the past. They belong to the completed circle of life. My job is over. Studies no longer offer anything, nor does the family. My children are, by now, independent human beings, and I don't feel like a father to them anymore. They are my friends, my co-fighters, persons who live their own first cycle of life. I do not put aside my love with this letter. I just try to cut the bonds that keep me tied with them in a circle from which, if I do not escape now, I will be led, for sure, to what I call death. My child, the problem is that this bond cannot be untied from one and only. That is why I am asking you to let the other end of the rope and say, "Farewell, warrior. I wish you the best of fights. And if you do so, our future meetings will be essential, full of real meaning and love. Because love is beyond circles, beyond ties. Love is above all. It is the pure knowledge that we are rays from the same source. But be aware, if someone does not willingly let the edge of the rope, that doesn't mean that the whole act will be lifted. The decision is made in another level of existence, and the forces simply wait for the first one to make a move. If the other is delaying or denied to act accordingly, they interfere, and the interruption is done abruptly. Unfortunately, this is very painful. From my part, I entered consciously into the second circle and started my last attempt. I have asked for help, from whom I don't really know, but I feel them right next to me and I thank them for it. So, my beloved child, I say goodbye, and I welcome you to the new reality that must define us from now on. Do not be afraid of this new relationship. I wish other parents could escape from that relation, which is nothing but an upside-down heritage. They inherit their children's circle. They refuse to start their second cycle with unfortunate adverse effects for their existence, trapped in a process that forces them to relive the first cycle. Nothing is worse than that. If I could compare it to anything, I would once more call it death. Do not be afraid of the word. Christ had spoken of the living dead. They are a part of it. And do not forget that natural death is the simplest one, because, in our case, we have Tantalus's martyrdom. The constant repetition of the same cycle is the quench that kills the ego and cuts the golden thread that unites us with our inner God. So we are starting this new beginning. It is not a beginning from scratch, of course, because love has already been won and is a crucial component of this relationship. And if I am not mistaken, we have also gained an understanding. Understanding our relationship, understanding our uniqueness, understanding that when we shall meet again in another dimension, our glances will rest on each other's sight. And all these will happen, my child, because we are soulmates. Let me share a few things about the second cycle that I feel I started to live, not like a father to a child, and in no case as a teacher to a student. I want to tell you a few things as one friend to another. To understand better what I'm about to tell you, I will ask you to draw something. Design the infinity symbol. You know, the 8 lay on his side. Now take an unreal bug a scarab, and place it in the middle of the 8 from the outside. Tell him to start his journey by walking on the left half-circle. Notice that once this semicircle is over, it will continue on the inside of the second semicircle. The course, which starts with an external path, ends up becoming internal. That is life, and trust me when I say that the two united circles are not life, but infinity itself. Blessed is the one who has two harmonically equal semicircles. Unhappy is the one whose second part is smaller, or even absent because he is obligated, do not ask by whom, to pass the second part as well. When death comes to him, he will find nothing. In any case, the second cycle is a repetition of the first structures. There is birth, there is education, trust me. There are relationships, and there is a cause. All these exist under the notion of internal. What does this mean? The human being has taken all the necessary experiences from the external path to infinity, and now is ready to start their transubstantiation to the inner journey. The hidden meanings are now presented, or rather they are now revealed. And the reason is that now he can visualize not only the general idea, but also all the pieces of the new puzzle. This image is magnificent. There is peace. There must be peace. There is love for the universe. There must be love for the universe. There are no enemies or friends. There should not be, since our common origin is now a fact. My child, in this magical journey, I have just begun to walk, step by step, with difficulty, I must confess, but this is the road I have chosen. Forgive all the people of my generation if we now seem to have changed the course of our life as well as what we used to tell you, compared to what we are saying now that we are faced with the new reality. We did not know, and now that we have discovered the truth, it would be a sin to stay silent once again. I personally can't. The day is past, and as night comes, I realize that I am repeating myself, so I shall stop. Good night, my child. Know that my love, no matter its external form, is real. A father.